Hello friends, this is Jim here with Science Talk, and I have two quick reports that I wish to share with you that deal with the issue of the melting glaciers in the Alps. And basically the way things are going, soon the Alps could be bare, completely void of ice. Which is not good because lots of times in many places, the slow summer melt of the snowpack provides water during the summer for the folks that depend on that. If there's no more ice there, where are you going to get the fresh water? So this is obviously an issue, and this just continues with some of the ice stories I've been sharing with you as the new research becomes published. Whether it be sea ice, Greenland, Antarctica, what have you, I bring you these reports and these studies. Well, what scientists are predicting is that by the end of this century, the Alps of Europe could have lost at least 9/10 of the glacier ice, if not 100%. In the last 50 years, the world's glaciers, Asia, the Americas, Europe, Africa, subarctic mountains have lost more than 9 trillion, that's trillion with a T, 9 trillion tons of ice. Wow. And as this meltwater comes on down from the mountains, the seas have risen by 27 millimeters. In other words, the 27 millimeters that is being reported here is the contribution from melting of the glaciers in the alpine glaciers, mountainous glaciers. This is separate from Greenland's contribution. This is separate from Antarctica's contribution. This is from alpine glaciers. Now you may say 27 millimeters, whoop-de-doo. Well, 27 millimeters is a little over 1 inch. Now 1 inch, okay, there's 1 inch. May not sound like much, but consider the surface area covered by oceans, that's significant. So here are the two studies that have examined this. In one study, Swiss scientists tried to audit a profit and loss account for the world's frozen high altitude rivers and found a steady downhill trend. Basically, profit and loss refers to profit adding snow, loss losing snow. That's kind of the way they was describing it. As they go on to state, glacial ice is a source of security and wealth. In the poorest regions, the annual summer melt of winter snow and ice banked at altitude can guarantee both energy as hydropower and water for crops in the valleys and floodplains below. Wealthy regions, hey, ski resorts make money off people, hurtling down the alpine levels at 100 kilometers per hour. So in the first study, Dr. Harry Zekolari, who was previously at what's called ETH in Zurich, he's now at Delft University of Technology in the Netherlands. He led the research, and the paper was published in the journal The Cryosphere. So he was part of a team from the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology, which is called ETH, or ETH. So they made computer models of the annual flow of ice and its melting patterns, using obviously satellite data, and took 2017 as a reference year, a year when the alpine glaciers bore 100 cubic kilometers of ice. And then they started running the simulations. So if humans were able to keep to the Paris Accord promise of trying to limit the warming to no more than 2 degrees C, good luck with that, then the stores of high ice would be reduced by more than a third. But if we keep going as we're going, and we're going to blow past 2, maybe have 3 or 4 degrees C warming by 2100, then pretty much all the ice, at least 95% of it, is gone. No matter which scenario they ran, no matter which warming, 1.5, 1.7, 2 degrees, 2.5, what have you, ice always ended up losing. So there will be continued loss and maybe accelerated loss of ice from the glaciers. There was so that was what his team found. A second study, also from involving Swiss researchers, but also involved Russians, Canadian, and European scientists. They looked at a more expansive picture, not just the Swiss Alps, but a little broader base. And they then looked at the mass loss of ice from the mountains of Alaska, Canada, parts of Asia, and the Andes, matched the increasing flow of water from the melting Greenland ice cap, and exceeded the flow of melting water from the Antarctic continent. That's what they found. The mass loss of ice from the mountains of Alaska, Canada, parts of Asia, and Andes matched what was being lost from Greenland, exceeded the flow of melting water from the Antarctic continent. That's very interesting. Now, when just look at sheer volume of Greenland and Antarctica versus the Alpine glaciers, eventually, we're going to lose all the Alpine glaciers and you're going to be left with the land glacier. But the fact that these mountain ranges the ice is really being lost. And that is extremely alarming. This was a result that actually took me by surprise. I mean, I figured there would be some loss. I did not expect the result that they found here. So this study, and it was led by Michael Zemp, who is a glaciologist at the University of Zurich, and it was published in Nature. And what they were looking at is, said, okay, in the 5 decades from 1961 to 2016, according to a careful study of satellite imagery and historic observations, the seas have already risen by the 27 millimeters, which I've already shared with you. And this is already between 25% and 30% of observed sea level rise so far. So let's break that down. The 27 millimeters is the contribution from alpine glacial melt. That is contributing to 25 to 30% of the sea level rise. So that means there is another 75 to 70% other sources contributing to sea level rise. So obviously this is going to be what? This is going to be Greenland. This is going to be Antarctica. It's also going to be thermal expansion of the water itself. You heat up water, it expands. So you have the thermal expansion of water, you have the melting of water from Greenland, of the ice, from Greenland being liquefied, Antarctica's ice turning also liquid, and the Alpine all contributing. The Alpine is contributing about 25 to 30%, and the other factors are the rest, 75 to 70%. Dr. Zemp says, globally, we lose 3 times the ice volume stored in the entirety of the European Alps every single year. He and his colleagues go on to warn that present mass loss rates indicate that glaciers could almost disappear in some mountain ranges in this century, while heavily glaciarized regions will continue to contribute to sea level rise beyond 2100. Heavily glaciarized areas, Greenland, Antarctica. Because basically once you lose the alpine glaciers, what's left? So this is more alarming news of what's happening. And don't forget, when you lose ice, albedo is decreased. Albedo is the reflectance of sun energy off the icy surface. So instead of that sunlight energy being bounced back into space, which it does off ice surfaces, which helps keep the temperatures down, it now gets absorbed. Now things warm up. Oh, do we see another little positive feedback loop being set up here? Yeah, that's what's happening. So, you know, this is what's going on. Can this be stopped? Ugh. There's too much, I think it cannot be, and I think there's just too much thermal inertia in the system. That's my take of it, looking at the heat budgets and, you know, what I, from, my, what I know, my years of experience in doing this stuff. So, there are changes coming, and not only is the temperature warming up, but if you lose the alpine glaciers, a lot of people are going to lose their water. They're going to lose the waters for crops, water for drinking. This may lead to increased climate refugees, which puts further stress on our resources as more people move into other areas, increase in the population density, and all the problems that go with that. That could lead to conflicts, including wars, unfortunately. So, alarming news, but, it is what it is. These studies are examining what is happening, what the situation is, and it's being reported to us. And so now, what the politicians and planners do with that information, if we have any chance of reversing this, we got to put pressure on those people to do something. Green technology, what have you. Okay, enough of my little mini rant. Thank you for your time. Hey folks, this is Jim here reminding you to please subscribe to my channel and please share my videos with others. Also remember to click the bell so that you know when I drop in a new video. I also ask that you please consider becoming a patron of my channel and support the work that I do by going to patreon.com/Science Talk with Jim Massa, each word separated by an underscore, and becoming a patron. It's asking for as little as $3 a month, cost of a cup of coffee, to support the work I do and keep my informative videos coming your way. Thank you for your support.